Leslie Thomas and Stan Smith. And Ms. Thomas has declined to participate tonight, so we will proceed. Stan, your opening statement, please. Again, you'll have 3 minutes, sir.
Jim, feel free to have a drink of that if you want to keep me honest. There's several things that I'm up here about tonight. The main thing is I want to restore integrity and transparency to our city government. I want to eliminate all the wasteful and unbudgeted spending, and I want to promote economic development. Critical things that we have been lacking here lately. I think it's very important that we do that. I think the city council needs to do several things, but one of the things we need to do, we need to be business friendly. We need to have the reputation of being an ally of businesses. It bothers me to think that business owners, when they think about coming before the Duncanville City Council, they feel like they're going to be in an adversary role instead of an ally. We're all on the same page. We all want to see our taxes, our tax revenue increase, our sales tax revenue increase. It's critical that we have these kind of things, and we've had a void here as of late, and that's not in the best interest of the city. Our city's in very good financial shape right now, but in a few years we may not be, and this is going to come home to roost, and it's going to cost us all. I think one of the things that we need to do, we need to conduct all the city business in an open forum. I think it's critical that we do that so that we're in front of the cameras for all of our business. We don't need to schedule meetings where we're away from cameras. We don't need to do things in a back room or something like that. We need to be as transparent and as open and do all of our business where the public can see it. Personally, I don't have a problem with even on board appointments and those kind of things doing that in an open forum. We don't have to go in executive session for that. If you told somebody you're going to support them for a board, talk about it right there and let them hear what you're going to say. I don't have a problem with doing that in an open session, and I think that would be a step certainly in the right direction. A lot of things that we can do with the economic development, the 4B board money that we get, it's to promote economic development, to entice businesses to come to town, but there's also some other things that we get to do with that money. We could. There's community enhancement. That would be libraries. That would be parks. We even could go so far as, and one of the things that we've done in the past, we've had, we've helped people with signs, helping them do a new sign on their business or paint their business so that their business looks better and more appealing to the public, and it makes Duncanville look better. And I think that's a good thing for all of us to do. So we could even go so far as to help people eventually in neighborhoods restore their houses if they want to, and we can actually do that. And there's a lot of things that we can do that we're not really doing right now, but first and foremost, I want to restore integrity and transparency to city government. I want to eliminate the wasteful and unbudgeted spending, way too much on lawsuits, and I want to promote economic development. I think that's a critical issue for our city.
That'll be all for your opening statement, Stan. Let's go ahead and back. It's just us.
Okay.
You're back. Strong sense of nation. You're back. Okay. Can you give me a question here, sir?
All right.
What is your vision of the future of Main Street Duncanville?
Well, I was fortunate enough to have been on the Economic Development Corporation when we first proposed what we've now got going on Main Street. And I know what upset people. And I think one of the reasons it upset people is people didn't fully understand what's going on. This is going to be a slow process. We've got a developer there that helped do the development of the Bishop Arts District in Oak Cliff. And if you've been there, it's a tremendous thing. It pulls in and it's a draw for a lot of people. We can have the same thing in Duncanville. And I think we need to have that. And I think we need to be open for business. If we start getting a restaurant or two or some retail or two to come in, it's going to grow, hopefully. And we'll have more and more people. And we'll have something there that will draw people. And it will be something we can all be proud of and something that we can go gather there. Hey, I'll meet you down on Main Street Friday night or whatever. And I think that's a real possibility if we all work together.
Okay. Thank you. Next.
And the winner is.
Okay. What do you consider the basic functions of city council in the Duncanville's mayor, council, city manager form of local government?
Well, it's pretty simple. The city council should do a couple of things. The city council should hire the city manager. The city council should hire the city attorney. The city council needs to hire an auditing firm. The city council buys and sells land. The city council will set the tax rate, and the city council, they do not set the budget. It's up to the city manager and his staff to come up with a budget, and it's up to the city council to approve that budget. Those are the requirements, and it's a certain policy. It's not, you don't do anything else. You don't get involved with any of the employees and tell them what to do. You leave that to the city manager and his directors and his management team. You simply set policy.
Thank you. One more question, sir.
Okay. Oh. Thank you. Certainly.
Do you feel that the regional cooperation with the best Southwest cities is working? What would you do to improve these relationships?
Well, I definitely think it's working. For one thing, when you pool your resources on a regional basis, it does several things for you. It maximizes your buying power. If you go together and collectively buy 50 or 100 police cars, for example, rather than 4 or 5, you're going to buy them at a cheaper rate. So it benefits everybody who participates in that collective bargaining or buying power. It also reduces, your duplication and expenses. The Tri-City Animal Shelter is a good example of that. The Tri-City 911 Emergency Call Center is a good example of that. But more importantly, when we band together with the Best Southwest Partnership, instead of going to Austin or Washington and saying we represent 28,000, we can now go and say we represent 250,000. And last week when we went down with Best Southwest to the Best Southwest at the Capitol, the governor spent 15 minutes with us, talking to us, telling us what he was doing, answering our questions. Lieutenant Governor David Dewhurst did the same thing. Our senators and congressmen were there for same thing in Washington.
That'll be all. Okay. And now it's time for your summary statement.
Okay.
And you will have 1.5 minutes for that. Okay.
Okay. Well, one of the things that that I'm proud of is I'm a Duncanville boy, born and raised here. Went all 12 years to Duncanville schools. I went on to SMU. I graduated with a business degree from SMU with a concentration in finance. I've got a Bachelor of Business Administration. I've participated in Leadership Southwest. I've been on their board twice. I have been on the board of the Best Southwest Partnership twice. I'm currently on my second term. I've been on the board of the Duncanville Chamber 3 different times, spanning 4 decades. I'm currently serving my second term as the chairman of the Duncanville Chamber of Commerce. Now, I say all of that to say one thing. If you've got a little bit of common sense, you can understand economic development, and you can understand what the city needs. Somebody with a junior high, somebody with a junior high education, if they understand economic development, they know what this city needs. So I think I bring some things to the table. I think I know what's important for Duncanville, the future of Duncanville. I want to see the Main Street development continue in progress. I think there's going to be a lot of good things that come from that. There's lots of things that we can do, but one thing we have to do, we have to be business friendly. We have to convince business owners that we're their ally, not their adversary. And if we do this, if we all work together, we get the right people elected, then I know that we can do these things in Duncanville. And we can prove to people that Duncanville is open for business.
Thank you, Stan. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.